You're welcome back. I know it's unusual to see me at this time because it's time for sports with Gary and the team. But he's in the studios because it's been a day. We had a breaking news story earlier, Gary, and we know that the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, there's an order. He's been sought after by the police. That's ahead of the premiering of the Anas Arimiyao Anas video. And we know that there's some issues coming up in there. He's going to be charged for defrauding by false pretense if he's arrested, because that's on the orders of the president. We are told that he's in that video making some comments and all that. That's more like implicating the presidency. So this is your area. You've been following this issue. You know more than I do when it comes to GFA issues. What really are we looking at? How serious is this situation? But first of all, has Kwesi Nyantakyi been arrested?
No, he has not been arrested for the simple reason that he's not in Ghana.
Okay.
So after the Xylophone Cash Premier League launch, where he was in Ghana to unveil the sponsorship, which is the first sponsorship the Ghana Premier League has had in 3 years. You know, it was a big deal, so he had to come down to do that. He had to come down from, I think, Morocco he is in. He's helping the Morocco World Cup bid to be successful. And just by some background, I'm sure you've heard that for the 2026 World Cup, there are 2 bidding nations. Morocco as one, and then USA, Canada, Mexico as the other. Okay. So the Moroccans are bringing all the African clout in there. Yeah, so Kwesi Nyantakyi, being the second vice president of CAF, or the first vice president of CAF, sorry, is there to help with his clout as well, and a couple of GFA officials. So he's been in Ghana, outside Ghana for a while. Yeah, for like 3 months. He just comes in and out to do some work. So he left around 1 p.m. on the same day that the thing was launched. Yeah, so he's not in Ghana. So now back to what the presidency have done is very interesting. Very. They've ordered the arrest of the GFA president. It's in the football world, it's quite unprecedented. Is that interfering? It's unprecedented because most presidents of their nations or heads of state know that the first thing FIFA will scream about is interference. So in order, this communicates several things to us. Because the presidency has openly done this, it means that they have proof, or they have evidence, or they know there's evidence that the GFA president has actually done this pretense, defrauding by false pretenses. Because if there was no evidence which was concrete enough for the presidency, they would not have done this, because Kwesi Nyantakyi could have just gotten a lawyer to say that. But Mr. President, what's the proof that I have defrauded? So that's the first thing that this communicates, that yes, indeed, the Anas video, we've just been told in another way that it includes Kwesi Nyantakyi. We've also just been told in another way that inside the video, he is using the name of the president to defraud people by false pretenses. So if it were a Hollywood movie, this would have been the best kind of publicity the premiere needed. Already, there are tickets that are it's for free. I mean, you can't get tickets because people are, it's like hot cake. Stumbling for it. You know, but what this means going forward is really serious. The GFA have always, from time immemorial, even before Kwesi Nyantakyi came to power, always been behind the whole FIFA interference thing, and they've always said, do you have evidence that if you talk about bribing referees, you say, were you there? Did you see it? Did you see it? You know, so that's always, and so for somebody to be able to do this blows the equation wide open. Now, what the president can do to show us that he's really serious, an international warrant, is to issue an international search warrant to Interpol to arrest Kwesi Nyantakyi. Do you see that happening? Because the president would have known that Kwesi Nyantakyi is not in the country. You sure? Oh, yes, of course. Okay. I know. That's the president. I'm telling you. He should know. Yes. I mean, it's just a phone call. So how come the CID were looking for him, at least at the time that we broke the story? We know that the CID was looking for him all over the place. It's procedural. So the presidency has to issue a formal statement. The CID have to start looking for him. If they can't find him within the confines of the country, then they'll say, Mr. President, we can't find the guy. But we have heard he's outside the country. Then he will then move on, if he wants to, or his office wants to say that, right, Interpol, our people say they can't find him. We hear he's in Morocco. Go and get him, bring him back. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Why would the president do this? And Why would he do this against his friend?
They're friends.
Oh yes, they are very good friends. When the president first came to power, his inauguration, one of the first 10 people he asked for was Kwesi Nyantakyi. Because
not because he's the GFA president.
Not because he's the GFA president, but if you believe those who know these things, they'll tell you that Kwesi Nyantakyi is a financier of the Akufo-Addo campaign. That is what we understand, you know, whether it's verifiable or, but this is what our sources within the MPP tell us. He's a financier of the, so he's very close to the president. They are on first name basis. As one source told me, Kwesi Nyantakyi is Nana Akufo-Addo's small boy. All right? So why would he do that? There are two reasons why the president would do that. The announced video, whether we like it or not, it will come out.
Yes.
The president cannot wait for the announced video to come out for Kwesi Nyantakyi to be seen on TV saying, I can help you get influence at the presidency. Because the presidency is the doyen, is the hub of integrity in this country. If you destroy the integrity of the presidency, nothing else works in this country. And this is a president who has spent, forget his tenure of office, he has spent his life fighting for what Kumi Preku. He's coming from a family of people who believe in integrity and all that. No matter what his friendship with Kwesi Nyantakyi is, as we used to say in Presec, you can do anything, but thou shalt not be caught. Once Kwesi Nyantakyi has been caught on video, there's nothing he can do.
He has to do something.
He has to do something about it. So he will. I don't know how the presidency got to know about that information in the announced video, but clearly he has seen it, he knows it's true, and he has done this. So that's why he has moved to take this step. Whether he'll be happy to take this step is another matter.
And the second reason? The
second reason is that the almighty opposition of this country, imagine if the video came today and Kwesi Nyantakyi is seen
using the name of the president.
They'll go to town with it. So what this does is it takes the thunder out of whatever the opposition will do. It takes the wind out of the sails, and it's a brilliant
political.
After
watching it, an action has already been taken. What else? So
we knew.
Say?
2 weeks to we knew. So I can tell you that there's more coming.
But have we heard from Kwesi Nyantakyi?
Well, the news technically just broke out. So what I can tell you that the GFA won't comment about it.
You know people in high places.
They won't
have
say.
They spoken to Kwesi
No,
Nyantakyi?
they won't say anything about it.
No, nobody at the GFA
will
say
talk.
Anything?
Nobody will say anything.
Why? They are affected by it? Why?
They'll
they
say
are protecting themselves?
No, they will say that the man has been, a search warrant has been, so let the security agencies do their job. They don't have anything to say.
Well, I'm sure that Gary will be following, and we'll definitely hear from Kwesi Nyantakyi on this. Thank you very much, Gary.
And just to plug, we'll be doing more analysis of this situation on myjoyonline.com as the story develops.
I'm following that right now. I can't wait. That's Gary Al Smith with the latest from the world of sports. This time, the latest news, politics and sports. And he's been giving us the latest on that. You know very well earlier in our breaking news that the president has issued a warrant for the arrest of GFA president Kwesi Nyantakyi, and Gary is just letting us know that Kwesi Nyantakyi is not even in the country. He's in Morocco, and we'll see how it turns out. In our subsequent bulletins, of course, we'll bring you the latest on it. Follow myjoyonline.com also, like Gary says, and we'll bring you the latest on that. It's time now for Let's Talk Showbiz here on The Pulse.